So in terms of medium depth versus medium contrast, because we know that this can be a little bit tricky and confusing around that. So I just want to give you a bit of a reminder about what contrast is. So depth is how light or dark a color is. Contrast is how we combine them. So it is different. It sometimes feels like it isn't different, but it is a little bit different. So just a reminder that high contrast is a dark color and a bright color together, or two bright colors together. So I'm wearing quite high contrast this evening. So you can see it's quite punchy, quite bold. So it, it's often quite striking. Medium contrast is putting two colors of the same hue together.
I'm probably medium, Fee.
Yeah, you're more medium this evening because it's not as sort of sharp or bold. Or black and white, navy and white is medium contrast. And low contrast is putting two light colors together or two deep colors together. Now, when we say color combination, it's just not about imprint or pattern, it's how you layer. So if you're wearing a blazer and a top underneath, but it's also against your skin. So this is where often people get confused about medium depth and medium contrast, because medium depth is against our skin. Medium contrast can be imprint and pattern layering, but it can also be against our skin as well. So you can see the difference between high contrast here, medium contrast, and then low contrast as well. So you can see the high contrast is very punchy, medium contrast is that beautiful, easy on the eye, and low contrast can sometimes disappear a little bit, but it's perfect for a cool, soft.
That dress is great for a cool light as well. Maybe without it, orange.
So just going back to what medium depth is, if we look, these are all from the Cool Muted December style file as well. So you can see here, and I didn't want to choose black or navy just to show, I wanted to show a deep color can also be something that is a beautiful, gorgeous teal. I actually had a client try this on Saturday and it was just gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. This is a David Lawrence dress. So if anyone's looking, this is a universal color really. So go for it. It's beautiful, creates gorgeous hourglass shape. This is what I would consider medium. And I know, Angie, you were saying that you feel like medium value is not enough contrast for you. So this is actually light. This is going down the lighter track. And I'm just wondering if perhaps you are going lighter rather than medium. So the only way that medium contrast would be too low contrast, medium depth would be too low contrast for you is if you very much have a medium value in your skin tone. Then what will happen is if you go deeper or lighter, then that's where you get that medium contrast happening. So just understanding that you've got light colors, you've got medium colors, and you've got deeper colors. And so you'll have that sort of, I've lost the word, range.
Spectrum.
That's what I'm after, thank you.
1, 2, 3 Cokes today, Fee.
Yeah, I know. But, I'm not used to staying up this late now. Been doing early nights in the holidays. So on that spectrum of colour, obviously it will go in a gradient in terms of that. So, Angie, let us know if I bought a medium blue shirt dress and I felt like it looked so flat.
That was probably style personality, Fee.
Yeah, especially if you've got a dramatic, it might feel boring like that.
And in fact, that might be like a dress is an outfit in one, right? And we're going to talk a bit more about how you might change it up a bit. But that might be an indicator, Angie, that maybe separates is a better option for you in that you can mix it up a little bit more in terms of creating contrast with the two separate pieces. Otherwise, with a dress, you've got to change it up a bit. And as I said, we'll talk about that. One little hint, Fee, I was going to give everyone for remembering the difference between colour depth and colour contrast is when we're talking about depth, we're talking about the depth of one colour. How dark or light is that one colour? to create a contrast, you need more than one color. So imagining, you have to remember contrast is when you've got two or more colors is the contrast, because you need that to create that contrast. So try and remember it in that regard. But yes, as Fee's saying, definitely if you've got a block color garment, your skin is another color you're wearing. So there is an automatic contrast there between the garment and your skin. So there's always a natural contrast regardless if you've got a block color garment.
And Angie's saying, I love that center dress. So that's actually in the style file. You'll find that in the style file. The other thing just to note is I actually find with a lot of cool lights and a lot of warm lights, they actually don't like a block color in a dress. They often prefer something that's got a light background or a deep, or sometimes into a deeper background if they're not comfortable as a light quite yet, a warm light or a cool light, with a print. That's what I often find. And I find it really interesting when I shop with cool lights and warm lights, especially if they've got an elegant or dramatic or a creative style personality. They feel like it needs to be broken up. They don't like to wear a solid block color in a dress. They're fine in a top or a pants, but in a dress, they like a print. So
there's just not enough
interest or contrast.
Yeah.
Within the item, not necessarily against their skin, but within the item. So that's what's going on. So what I then wanted to show you is some examples, again, from the December style file of medium contrast for cool lights. And this is a cool light, cool muted, and even for your cool soft. These work across all. So you can see that it's the variation in color, and some of them have a little bit more variation in the depth of color that's used. However, they're all what I would call medium contrast because they've either got deeper and lighter colors coming together to create that contrast. So some are lighter than others and some are deeper than others, but they all come back to that sort of medium contrast. I just wanted to show you that against low contrast. Now, this is low contrast in terms of print, and Christy and I were discussing it before. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily low contrast against your skin tone. If you're someone who has a lighter skin tone, then this is going to be low contrast against your skin. So it's a low contrast print plus a low contrast against your skin. If you're someone who's got a medium to deeper skin tone, then that's actually not going to be low contrast for you. So even though the print is low contrast, against your skin tone, it will be medium to possibly even high contrast, depending on the depth of your skin tone.
Especially if you're adding deeper layers and things like that.
Yeah. And then these prints over here, this again is low contrast. A lot of the time when people think of low contrast, they think as light, but low contrast can actually be putting two deep colors together. Now, again, depending on your skin depth, will determine whether it's low contrast for you. So if you have a deeper skin tone, then this might be low contrast for you. If you have a medium to lighter skin tone, it's going to be medium to possibly going to a high contrast for you. So it's just bearing that in mind. So Kathy's saying it is recently bought a block color blue dress from Mr. Zimmy, but different textures and the detail made it more interesting. Yeah, I find cool lights, warm lights, even if it's not print, you're right, different textures or it, you know, shimmers in a different way, detailing. Yeah, absolutely. You don't tend to like, and I wonder if it's the overarching style personality of our cool lights and warm lights.
Yeah, color personality, it's real. It is real.
It is. So hopefully, Angie, that helps in terms, and everybody else, that helps in terms of what we mean by medium depth and then also medium contrast there as well. I haven't shown an example of high contrast. High contrast is much easier to see. It's very punchy. And sometimes we think things can be high contrast. Like sometimes I feel like people think this might be high contrast or this is,
right.
But it's not. It's actually medium. You have to go to this level or to that level to be high contrast.